Hello everybody, I'm Ernest. Day 2 of the road trip. I slept in the car last night and it was quite comfortable. I'll show you my setup later. I'm on my way to, I think it's called Chaco Canyon, or I forget I actually forget the name of it, but you know, you'll see here in a bit what it's like. What it is an Indian ruin, one of the most magnificent Indian ruins. I don't know if you can see way in the distance, there's hot air balloons. Albuquerque is known for its hot air balloons. To get to this this Indian ruin, it's out in the middle of nowhere. So I've been driving out here, there's nothing out here, and then I see this, I guess it's an overpass. Is that a wildlife bridge, or no, it's Peabody's Energy. I wonder, I'm assuming that there's some kind of mining industry out here, and that's just a bridge they use to travel across. Beautiful scenery, desolate, I guess is the word, but just beautiful. So be aware, you have dirt roads that you have to navigate to get to this place, and Google says it's 18 miles of dirt road. So I've got 18 miles of this to travel on. I do have all-wheel drive, and I can lock the differential on this on my Tucson, but I don't think I'll have to do that. So this road is not smooth at all, and it says 18 miles, and I'm averaging, well, it says I'm going 40 miles an hour. It sure doesn't feel like it, but I guess I am. There's suspension on the Tucson is pretty good, actually. 18 miles of this. So as I was driving up to this, I said, is that a cow just randomly on top of this rock? But it's not a real cow, but I was like, oh my god, how majestic that looks. But it's some kind of artwork. Yeah, be aware, man. If it rains, I wouldn't want to be on this road with this car, you know, and because I have regular street tires on my car, maybe with all terrains or that, so the all-wheel drive can work better, but I have regular street tires on this car. Yeah, don't come down this road if it's raining or it's muddy. Yeah, I didn't know this when I was coming here, that I had all this dirt road to go. So be prepared if you're coming in a car or a vehicle that's not suitable for it. I can't believe that this is the road they have to a national park. Maybe it's because of the way that I came. It's dirt road. Maybe there's a paved road on the other side of it. But if you're not prepared, you might find yourself having to turn around, or worse, getting stuck. They got these cattle guards too along the way. You have to navigate. Okay, so there's some mud. I put the car in snow mode and I have the differential locked up. We're gonna go through some mud with street tires. I should be okay. Not too bad. It made it pretty easily. Just got to keep the momentum going, you know. Okay, I made it to the visitor centers. There's the prices if you guys are interested in that. Let's go inside and check in. So here's an overlooked. I guess this is the area that we'll be looking at later. I'm inside the visitor center. So my car got a little dirty. It has 18 miles of mud. I mean, well, not mud, dirt, and there was some mud. So anyway, let's go check out the site. Okay, so here's the first ruins I come across. I won't even try to pronounce that. It's right here. Okay, here's the sign. Said it's a great house, occupied 1000 and 1250. Sacred site, stay on designated trail. So I'm not the History Channel, so I don't know if you're gonna watch and we'll see what knowledge I have. You're gonna be disappointed. I really wonder what this would have looked like when it was completed back in the day. Look at the craftsmanship. I wasn't expecting this kind of craftsmanship. And you can see how thick the walls are. Is that the actual wood they used? It's still there? It lasts this long? Yeah, you see those holes in there? I think that's where they take a sample of the wood to age it, to date it. Amazing. Where did they get those pieces of wood? I haven't seen any trees around here. So, some more. This is a massive building. And we're just going to walk around. You can see the thickness of the walls. That's a good 1.5 feet or more. There's some old wood.
You're from San?
Yeah.
Yeah, a family would live in there.
Okay, so a great house is kind of like an apartment?
Yeah.
Okay, condominiums.
1,000-year-old condo.
1,000-year-old condos. Well, they had a nice view. So made it over here to Pueblo Bonito. Said the site closes at 9 o'clock. I would imagine it'd be too dark unless it's lit up at night. Okay, I'm reading this sign here. You know, I thought these were homes, but according to this, the functions were ceremony, administrative, trading, storage, hospitality, communication, astronomy, the burial. Only a small portion seems to serve as living quarters. It has 600 rooms at one time. So here's a plaque here about Pueblo Bonito. It's a huge they unearthed this between 1920 and 1927, the National Geographic Society and the Smithsonian Institution worked on this for several years to give us what we have now. This is a great, I've never seen, I would almost think it was Spanish, but this is Native American. I guess because when you think about Indians, you think of teepees and stuff like that, but they had multiple level homes structure here. I wonder what the reasoning for this, why the doorway's like this. I'm sure there's maybe a reasoning to it. Where'd they get these logs? So these logs would be the second story of the building. I wonder why they made it multi-level. Why wouldn't they just make it, just spread it out? You had plenty of room, but I'm sure they had their reasons. What happened in these rooms? What conversations? Who passed through these walls? This is where you let your mind wander. Is that a third story? Is there 3 stories to this building? The doorways are quite small. You have to duck to get in there. Was this the level of the first floor? You can see it's not very tall. I'm 5'6", so not much more above my head. The walls look kind of wavy, like they could fall. Well, I guess if I was 1,000 years old, I would be wavy. Well, I'm already wavy. Here's one of those grinding stones where they would grind corn, I think mainly is what they grew. And then they would seal some of the doors. I've noticed this is not the first one I've seen. Other doors where they would just seal it. Is this a fireplace? Or just a space, a nook? God, just look at this. This room seems to be sealed or wasn't used. I don't see a doorway to it. I can tell you, if you were living in here, you didn't have much privacy. That's for sure, because every room has a window or door to it, to the next room. Unless they had some kind of curtain or something. See, there was a door here that was sealed up. here we have a kiva, a big one. Oh, wait a minute, when I turned around, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kivas here. 7, 8. Bunch of kivas. Kivas, my understanding, were some kind of worship or ceremonies were held there. This was like, for the Indians, this was like New York City. Oh, look at this, it just keeps going. If these are for ceremonies, I wonder what, I don't know much about their religion. I know I've heard, or I think I know, something up to do with Mother Earth. But they have stories that have been passed down, and it's an oral history, my understanding. Were passed down from generations to generations. Imagine just people just running around here. I know I've heard that they found like artifacts from far away, like tribes from, like, I think all the way down into Mexico, and other tribes would come here and trade with the people here. Amazing structures, amount of man hours it would take to cut these stones. I think that thing in the middle is where they would put the fire, because my understanding the kivas would have to be real hot. This is a big one. I've never seen one that big before. You might describe more channel as far as you know. I'm the same. Room after room, kiva after kiva. Yeah, these kivas are huge. It must have held a lot of people. If we could only go back in time, we could only go back in time and see and witness it. It might have been something. It would have been something to us. This would be like a grand entrance into the center of it. I'm not sure. You can see the waviness in the wall where it's leaning to the side. And I remember watching a video that once said the rocks from this cliff fell over and destroyed some of the ruins. I think I heard that right. So I'm walking behind the Casa Bonito. I wonder who named it Casa Bonito, because that's a Spanish word. Different phases of it as on the building. And up here you can get kind of an overview. And there's another one in distance. And I thought there was another one over here too. On this area, they put some braces to hold the wall up. Just the man hours. The amount of people that would be here. I would imagine the people working on this here live their lives out here. Construction and repairing the structure as needed. That was their job. You know, kind of like your maintenance man at an apartment complex. No AC here though. Let's see what this is about. Cemetery. I thought the Indians burned. Well, that's probably in the movies. As I'm walking, I see this erosion or rock formation. Looks like brain coral. I thought this was an Indian burial spot, but evidently it's settlers. I'm guessing. It died in June 22nd, 1910. There's another one right next to it. I'm having to use my zoom because I have it fenced off. So I'm zooming into the other tombstone. I can't read it because of the glare. We'll read it later. Okay, so here's the guy that's buried there. Evidently he was working for a museum, and then people were complaining about him, his techniques of finding artifacts, and I think he was even selling some of them. And then some people that he had working for him killed him. But you can read for yourself the story. All right, made it to another ruin. Pueblo de Arroyo. Arroyo means like a ditch. I'm sure the Navajos didn't call it that. Or no, not Navajos. Pueblo people. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. Wait, it's a sign right here. It's a great house, occupied 1075 to 1250, sacred site. Like I said, I had people complain about my videos in the past, my other travel videos. Like I had the information incorrect, or they knew more than I do. This ain't the History Channel, guys. Oh, and there's more down there. This is a large facility also. A lot of this this structure it's still buried. I'm surprised. That's what I was noticing. A lot of it hasn't been uncovered. Yeah, they left this one uncovered. I mean, still buried. There's another floor or so down. And the only thing, I mean, that's great to show how it might have looked when they discovered it. But what's buried underneath there? Is there artifacts that have yet to been uncovered that could finish the story? These Indians really into their kivas. You know, I still don't know where I'm gonna go from here. I was talking to another guy who he's doing the same thing I'm doing. He travels and he sleeps in his car, and which I don't know if I'd be sleeping in my car tonight, but he was telling me what app to use and stuff like that. I'm learning as I go, but I was trying to find a trail back to where my car's at, but I think I'm going to end up just following the road. So that's Casa Benita over there, and I believe this is just one big loop, and all the sites are along the way, and then it leads you right back out to the visitor center. You know, as I'm walking here, I'm thinking, at night, when all the people are gone, do the spirits come out to walk? This place wasn't inhabited, from what I can tell, like 1,000 years. People were here. At night, I wonder if there's any paranormal activities going on in here. All right, we made it to another site. Here's the information on this particular structure. I was reading here, it says that they got the wood from surrounding mountains. I was wondering where they got the wood from. And this has 2 stories and 3-story building. Walking up to it. I didn't bother to pronounce it because I'm just going to butcher it. It's a big structure. I noticed in some of these rooms when I walk in it, because I guess the walls are so thick, the rooms would feel a lot cooler than the outside temperature was. What's this down here? Not sure what that's about. Well, I'm getting my steps in today. I think this is the biggest one that I've seen so far up today, the biggest kiva. He put the whole tribe in there. You know, I knew there was going to be a large area, but this thing is way bigger than I thought. Way bigger. Until you walk the whole grounds, then you come to realize the size. What's this? What? I wonder what is this? Is there something they dug out? Or this was part of the... Oh, it's a kiva, I think. I see a round wall. No? I'm not sure, and there's no sign. Yeah, until you walk everything. This place is huge. Trail goes this way. Got to be careful because sometimes the trails are not that well marked, and you might be, oh, not that way. See what I mean? I thought there were steps there. You know, just as I'm walking here, who knows what this thing was for? It looks to me like it was a living quarters, but they found out that it's not. Very small percentage of it was. So where did people come from? Look at these tiny little slithers of stone. And then look how big the walls are. So if you noticed here, there's brick, little stones, brick, little stones, a pattern. Why is that? Used to be something here and they went to block it. You got the canyon all the way around you. Wall's pretty straight for 1,000 years. I guess my question would be like, where do you get the food source to feed the people that are doing this work? Was it like the same people just lived here and built on this their whole lives? Or like tribes would take turns sending some of their men or women, I don't know, down here to work here a certain amount of time, and then it'd be another tribe's responsibility. I don't know. And you would have to bring your own food. Most likely the climate was a lot different. I know when I was traveling through New Mexico, yeah, it was in New Mexico or Arizona, I was reading the signs that the climate was so much different back then that it rained more and they could actually grow corn. As you know, Indians are known to raise corn, and there was enough water to do that because corn requires quite a bit of water to sustain itself. There's an interesting structure right here. I'm not sure if I'm done yet. I think I've seen all that's here. I think, unless I see something on the way out. Who knows what the real history is, you know? You could say that about a lot of things. You read something and it turns out to be older than once predicted, and then the people that came up with these theories are all mad and they fight each other for the new, because they want their history to be right. I don't know. I just take the history lessons and what they tell us just for granted, I guess. And really, who knows what history was, what this whole complex was. Whatever it was is big. A lot of people had to been here. And I don't know how long or centuries it took to build. Okay, here's another one. Casa Rinconada. They say this is the biggest kiva is here. Let's go check it out. These are they described them as little village, modest village. They are built. I think I see the Grand Kiva over here. Yeah, this one is bigger than the other one. Along the side here, of this Grand Kiva. I guess this would be like the entrance into it. I notice looks like it leads into the Kiva. Different construction over here. You see two big bricks and then little filler pieces throughout the construction here. Different time frames, different people. No matter, you don't know how much time passed between one structure to the other structure. I think they try to date it with the wood. Looks to be another entrance. There is ruins spread out in this area. The sign said they were modest dwellings or structures. I think I'm gonna skip those so I can get back on the road. You know, I was planning on doing an off-road video for my my Hyundai Tucson, but I already did it without even knowing. It did pretty good off-road. It just needs some off-road tires and it'll do a lot better. Well, I guess that's it for this video. It's a World Heritage Site. Reading on that sign, I should have known that. The road, I was warned by the guy that's traveling like me and sleeping in his truck that this road is not that great. So far it's better than the dirt road that I came up on. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.